giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Thing drop it. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Freeman Mazda Hyundai. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Something about Sounds of Blackness that gets me in that chill mood. And then soon as the intro music drops, I'm instantly hyped and I'm ready to talk to the Bomb Squad. What's good, Cowboys Nation? Today we debut the actual rankings list. Top 40 Dallas Cowboys on the roster for 2022. And we're going to start with 40 to 31. And rankings are subjective. They're not, everybody has different rankings. So this should be a fun little thing to bypass the time for the next week or so. So today we'll start off with the bottom of my top 40. And I want to see if you guys think I have these dudes too low, too high, or just about right. And then we can kind of play around with your rankings in regards to these guys. So we'll do the 40 through 31 and we'll have some fun with it. And then in the roundup, we'll get into another article feature where we're going to talk about that pass rush. There seems to be some doubt in it, so I want to talk to y'all a little bit about that before we get into things. But shout out to the Bomb Squad in the building.
Bomb Squad!
Man, yeah. Somebody said that intro music is fire. Listen, the combination of the Sound of Blackness, for those who wanted to know, thank you, Lemitra, for putting that there. It's the Sound of Blackness. The song is very old, but it's a chill song, some chill vibes, and my boy Jay Will remixed it, and I used it about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, for a video, and I really never used it, and I said, why don't I just make this my intro music? So I'm glad y'all enjoy it. Shout out to Jay Will. Appreciate you, bro. I got some more beats from him I might introduce to y'all, too, so we're going to let this one ride for a long time until, it's time to move on from it, but we're going to let it ride, and then you got the actual intro music that gets me hyped, man, so I just like to bring in the morning with energy. It's early. It's supposed to be 8, but it's like 8:30, 8:30 Central, 6 over there on the West Coast, and then 9 something over in the East Coast. So that's early. So I try to bring in the energy, get y'all ready to go, man. Get y'all ready to go. Yeah, you see, Jacob said, Jabril Cox, you just made the list. Yeah, man. I probably should bring back, I should have called it just the list, honestly. I actually love that, but we'll keep that segment for something else. So appreciate y'all for being here. Shout out to Toxic Tom, Frankie Franchise, Arthur White, Oscar Sullivan, Nick Mims, Lemitra, Jeremy, John Garcia, Gregory, Jacob in the building. The Guru said he here today, man. Danny Savage was good, my friend. James Ruff, Jaws 88, Sir APD, Lauren, TC915 in the building. Tariq was good. Derek Fisher, Marcelo B, Bill Pugh, Jermaine Underwood, Stephen White. Are we that deep in here this early? I didn't even peep. Man, appreciate y'all. Mackenzie, two times. Gregory and Iceberg Q. NME Michael in the building as well. Esther B, 6081 boy was good. And C. Burleson. I see you, C. Burleson. So I think we got everybody. James, what's good, James Rogley? I see you, man. Big Flock 91, Quiddy in the building, Captain America, how does it? And the many more coming through. I try to give the Bomb Squad my shout outs. Listen, bro, I don't know how to say your name, the Japanese letters. So I'm just going to say good morning to you too as well, brother. Good morning to you too as well. What's up, Desmond? What's up, Brandon? And the many more coming through. Yeah, you switch it up on me. I think this is the one that had the Eagles. I think you had the Eagles name, something about Eagles is trash or something like that. You switch it up, so I forget. But appreciate you, man. Professor O, what's good? What's good, Swain? I see you, man. I see you. Iceberg Q said, Chris Jericho doesn't get enough credit the way he consistently, basically, reinvented himself. Facts. Chris is a GOAT, though, to me. He's a legend. I mean, he might not be on the Mount Rushmore, but when it comes to the mic, there's the top three to me. In any order, I don't care where you want to put them, is Rick, Chris Jericho, and The Rock. Nobody's defeating them on the mic. Period. Eagles are trash. Yeah, that's what it was. What's good, man? What up, CJ? All right, let's jump into the roundup because just like yesterday, these ranking list shows won't be terribly long. So we're going to have fun with it. It's more of a freestyle type of vibe. And, yeah, so let's jump into the roundup, get to the article feature, and jump right into this list.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
I promise you, Toxic, it will not be a marathon show. I promise you. All right, man, let's get to this roundup, which we will be featuring our guy, Mauricio Rodriguez, A to Z Sports primetime host. Shout out to Mo. He wrote about an article from The Athletic, actually, where they detail where the Cowboys took a hit in a critical area, and that was the pass rush. The Athletic's Larry Holder, he cast doubt on the Cowboys' ability to replace Randy Gregory. This is what Mo had to say in the article. As it's been discussed for months now, the Cowboys will try to make up for the loss of Randy Gregory with the rotation of Doris Armstrong, Sam Williams, and Dante Fowler. Optimism has Cowboys Nation hoping that Fowler is able to bounce back now that he'll rejoin Dan Quinn in Dallas, but there's little reason to believe he'll be close to Gregory's level. And they pointed out the pass rush win rate of 2021, where Randy's was at 15.2%. Now, the numbers in regards to sacks and things like that and tackles for loss may have not been extremely high, but he was consistently beating guys. It was at 15.2, and Fowler's was at 9.6 in 2021. However, you dig a little bit deeper. Dante Fowler between 2018 and 2021 boasts a 12.7% pass rush win rate, and at one point, through week 13 of last year, he was above the 15% mark. So, like I've been saying all offseason, it's not the fact that Fowler can't do it. It's not the fact that Fowler doesn't have the traits to do it or the ability to do it. Can he consistently do it? That's really the only question mark, because in Atlanta, the consistency from that entire front just was never there. They also went on to talk about how Dorrance Armstrong and Sam Williams will also help with that, and that Dorrance he finished the season with 11% pass rush win rate and 5 sacks. We've talked about this a ton. All sacks are not created equal, and this is no knock on Dorrance. I think Dorrance will continue to when I say get better, I don't mean the dude is going to be some monster defensive end, but he'll just continue to slowly get better and better, and I think his ceiling is a solid starter, but I still think he's a good rotational player. I'm not looking to Dorrance to be like, hey, man, I need you to help carry this weight in the pass rush. I don't think that's him right now. That's why you see a Sam Williams drafted in round 2. That's why you have a Dante Fowler brought in. So you're going to have more of a, I know we hate this term in Dallas Cowboys land, more of a committee approach on that right side for now. Peter, excellent point, says maybe Fowler supporting cast in Atlanta wasn't it. And that's something that Mo also pointed out as well in the article. So check out the rest of the article if you would like at A2ZSportsDallas.com. Salute to our guy Mauricio Rodriguez for today's article feature. Yeah, I think in regards to this, it's fair to doubt if you're just looking at the pass rush win rate and you're just talking about 2021. But oftentimes, y'all know me here, context matters. I just like to dig a little bit deeper just to make sure that there isn't room for improvement for said player, said coach, said position group, et cetera, et cetera. And I think there is for Fowler. I don't think Fowler is just like, oh, he's washed and done. I think playing next to Micah and playing next to D-Law and having Dan Quinn, I think he absolutely can be an impact player. Difference than a hump player. Y'all know me. I would love to get a couple of those guys. I think he could be an impact player to help you at least maintain where you were last year from a pass rush standpoint. Dom said Fowler didn't have the nuance. I think it's so dope how we created those type of just regular things over there on the Vosh Lombardi show. Peasy says, I like the committee approach from the D-line, keep guys fresh. I like it to an extent too, Peasy. I didn't like the way Rod tried to do it. Like, I still think you need to get some dudes. At one point, Fowler was looked at as a dude. Randy was a dude. Not always there. Obviously, D-Law's a dude. But during Rod's tenure, he just was too full of himself. Oh, yeah, just Nick Hayden. Come on. Jeremy Mincy? Yeah, come on, man. George Selfie? What? And I think that kind of got to him a little bit. Like, I don't need to go get XYZ player because I can turn a George Selvey into 8 sacks. Sure, you can get an 8-sack season out of George Selvey, but how impactful was it, and can you get that consistently? So as long as I got a Micah Parsons that continues to rush the passer, a D-Law, and you do add significant resources in the draft like a Sam Williams second rounder, cool, because you're getting me some dudes. And now let's plug some rotation around them. Now let's get a Doris, Armstrong, Dante Fowler, things like that. So 0-16 Rob full of himself. Yeah, dude, like, come on, Tristan. We'll talk. I'll save it. But I think Rod, am I wrong for thinking that Rod kind of was like, he called it the orphans? When you got a coach that say, give me some orphans, we'll make that work. That's the type of rotation I'm cool off of. You know. Whereas you see Dan Quinn came in here and said, yeah, rotation isn't bad, but go get me Malik Hooker, first round talent. Go get me a Dante Fowler, first round talent. These guys have been productive in this league, right? Go get me, even though it didn't work out. He went out and got a Brent Urban, who was a high impact run defender coming into 2021. Didn't work out that way, but they put emphasis on the talent as well as the role, if that makes sense. So that's all I'm saying. No more Nick Hayden's. There's those guys via the draft and things like that. But George Selvy's, Jeremy Mincy's. I mean, we can go on and on, right? There's other players. Y'all gonna hate me for this one because he was a solid rotation guy. Jack Crawford, you know. These guys were okay at best. I did like Jeremy, though. His leadership was very critical that year, where I think it was that the year where, yes, it was. Damn, we got him in 2014, where DeMarcus Lawrence got hurt, and Mincy kind of stepped up. Granted, he was a rookie anyway, but Mincy stepped up. So Kyle Wilbur was a linebacker, but I feel you. Yes, yeah, I knew y'all was gonna hate me for that one. Yeah, Jack Crawford. Again, I'm harsh a little bit, y'all. Like, Jack Crawford was whatever, yeah. Now, Tyron Crawford, I wouldn't do that to Tyron. Like, I feel like Tyron Crawford, until his body gave out, I feel like he was legitimate. But they just ruined him in how they moved him around. Canty was before Rob Marinelli. Oh, man, you remember Ken Bishop. Ooh. Who was the other one? There was Ken Bishop and there was another dude. That was that same year, 2014. Peasy said, yeah, no more Jags. Jags aren't a bad thing. I don't want to make it seem like you can't be a Jag and have a role. But if you have mostly Jags, then you have a problem. Think you deal me? Joey Ivy. That was another one I think he got cut, though. Thank you, Devon Coleman. That was the one. Boy, we had to talk ourselves into these boys, didn't we? Now, I did like Terrell McClain. I was sitting here like, oh, yeah, man. Devon Coleman? Ken Bishop? We might got something here. Ben Gardner, I think, got cut too. I tell you what, I don't think any of these dudes that are crack the top 40 of today's show, to be honest with you. Don't think it. But what we do know about those three guys in the article that Mo talked about, Doris Armstrong, Sam Williams, and Dante Fowler, is that they did crack my top 40. I should have put Skywalker's top 40 players of 2022. My top 40. But where is the question? And will we see one of those guys today? Let's find out. Let's get to part 1 of today. We're going to do 40 to 36 first. And this is where, if you think I had these guys too low or too high, I'll ask you, you let me know, or just right, you let me know. And if you think they should have been whatever number, you can tell me that as well. Also, you can call into the show. 351-999-3787. I do have the phone line up and ready, so we good to go here. We good to go. All right, let's roll into it. Here we go. 40 to 36. Starting off at 40, I have Simi Fehoko. And I struggle with this one because of TJ Vasher, right? TJ Vasher was at the top of the list yesterday, if you guys recall that. He was at the top of the list, and whole time I'm like, should I put Simi up there or should I put TJ? Simi or TJ? I was going back and forth. And throughout this project, you'll realize there will be some guys I have on here strictly because of their pedigree or potential, or both. And part of me just had to put Simi there because I hadn't seen enough of TJ. Granted, it's 40. So that's where I got Simi Fehoko at. That means technically, right, he cracked the roster. He'd make the roster. Sure. Right now. June 30th. But guys like Drummond and Freifogel will be on his ass. So it's no guarantee that Simi Fehoko will make the roster. But right now, according to my list, Simi Fehoko would make the roster. And then at 39, old Tristan Hill. This means he makes the roster, technically. Now, just because I got him in this top 40 doesn't mean that they'll look at the roster and say, okay, if I look at how many defensive tackles I got, he's my last ranked defensive tackle in regards to 3-tech. He's my 5th 3-tech. I think it'll be 5th or 4th. 3. It'll be 5th, technically, if you move Golston inside. And then you got guys like Big Country, Quentin Bohanna, who play a specific role. Just because he's ranked at 39 doesn't mean he'd make this roster either. That's where I do have him. Do I have Tristan and Simi too high or too low before I move on? I think it's about right. Because we have to take into account there's a lot of undrafted guys I didn't even include, right? Like there's some. I technically included one undrafted guy yesterday. Marquise Bell. That was it. I could have included 2 because we had that mistake with Francis Bernard. But I feel like I couldn't put some of those other, like Devin Harper, I couldn't put those guys in good faith over Simi and Tristan. The thumb. Oh, shit. They got the thing. We can call him the thumb. So I got Simi at 40, Tristan Hill at 39. So it looks like A Hatch has Tristan out of the top 40. And then here's one where I actually waffled in this top 40 with Sean Mcewen, because I wanted to try to put my bias aside as much as I could, but I'm not going to lie to y'all. Some of it played a factor in my ranking. So I got Sean Mcewen at 38. And I have a question in regards to this list. My question was, who has the greatest chance to finish higher by season's end? And I'll ask that about both of these lists and the total list. The next part you'll see is easy. A lot of those dudes could finish higher. But on this one specifically, I think it's Sean Mcewen easily. Easily. In fact, again, I know the Cowboys drafted Jake Ferguson. And that's all fine and dandy, but I felt like this. If they weren't going to take one of those top 3-ish tight ends or a freak like Jelani Woods, I was cool with Sean Mcewen kind of coming into form as your tight end too. Truly. and continuing to develop and maybe taking over at tight end 1. I didn't have a problem with it. But Jake Ferguson's here. You could argue his ceiling is higher because he's done more from a receiving standpoint in college. But y'all know me. I'm good on Sean Mcewen. I think personally, if Jake doesn't run away with tight end 2, Sean could. So I got him at 38. To some, it may be high, but if you go look, he played a little bit last year. He obviously scored that touchdown. He has enough tape to me to say there's potential there. And I thought that coming out of camp last year and going into preseason games until he got hurt against the Cardinals. And I think that derailed his progression. I wonder, Cowboys Nation, I truly do, had he not gotten injured and he had the potential to take over for a Blake Jarwin earlier in the season, would they have drafted a tight end, or would they have, I should say this, would they have signed or franchise tagged Dalton Schultz? So I got Sean Mcewen here at 38. Let's see where we at. Danny says Sean McKenna, hand down. What the heck does that mean? Anthony Hatch says Mcewen, nice spot. What is up with Stephen White in this Matt Walesko tight end 3 thing? Right, that's how I feel, NME. Mcewen got hurt right when he was kind of peaking. I feel the same exact way. I feel like had he not got injured, he would have taken over for Jarwin much sooner. When I say much sooner, I mean when Jarwin got hurt, like week 6, 7 or something like that. And I think they would have been like, all right, we got our guy. No need to panic. Good morning, Cedric. What's goody? He is intriguing. Toxic. Michael H. A rookie tied or close to Tristan. If he is tied, he is leaving. Hey, listen. When we talk about the bottom roster of these guys, and we're talking 40 to 36, and then the tier 1 and tier 2 of the best of the rest yesterday, I don't think these guys are guaranteed. There's some guys that have a stronger hold on the roster, and guys like Nashawn and Noah. Those guys have a stronger hold, who I have at 37 and 36. Now, let me just tell y'all this. I had Sean Mcewen higher than everybody on this bottom part of the list. Higher than Noah, higher than Nashawn. But I'm really trying to do this with a fair outlook on things. And I couldn't say I'm going to rank Sean over Noah when we know Noah has a strong hold on special teams. He's been here for a long time. He's been and again, when I say quality wide receiver 5, that doesn't mean he's a quality 3 when it was his chance to step up. He's been a fine wide receiver 5. Noah has a 5, whatever. Right? So I have Noah at 36 here. So you'll notice there's a lot of guys higher than him. Some rookies are higher than Noah Brown. And that's because I did factor in some potential. So 40 through 36, y'all let me know. Does this look about right? Too high, too low? On some of these dudes. If you have a specific person in mind, name them and tell me if they're too high or too low. I felt so good about this part right here. Honestly, this was the best I felt about the entire top 40 aside from my top 10. I feel great about my top 10. I can't wait to show y'all that. I feel excellent about the top 10. In fact, I want to let me try something here so we can talk about it and I can have this pulled up right next to me. Give me 1 second, y'all. Told y'all this is more of a freestyle show today. There we go. If this is too small, y'all can't see, I'll just get rid of it. But I just wanted to have this up here so y'all can see it. All right, let me get to the chat. Hill is too high, says Jacob. Shouldn't be in the 40. These boys, Sean Mcewen becomes more viable if Cowboys plan to run 12 personnel. I think they do. Professor O, you have the number, but wasn't it somewhere around 21 or 22% of the time they ran 12, which in the grand scheme of things is not more 12 than not, but I want to say they were top 10 in it. And at one point they were top 2 or 3 in 12 prior to the Blake Jarwin injury. So I think they'll do it. I mean, they were excellent, and they were extremely efficient in the passing game, and they had their highest running yards per carry in the 12 personnel. So I hope they decide to do it. I don't want them to do it exclusively, but play action was excellent out of there. You put pressure on the defense if you have two solid tight ends. We'll see if Jake is that guy. But for me, I hate the fact that I'm hearing that. I almost called him Skittle. Sprinkle. Jeremy Sprinkle is your tight end too. I don't like to hear that. I'd rather him be my blocking tight end. And I know that makes you more predictable. Oh, Jeremy Sprinkle's in there going to run. And if that's the case, then I don't think he's viable to me. I don't think that. I think Sean Mcewen would be more viable than a Jeremy Sprinkle because I can do two things with him, if that makes sense to y'all. Okay, so what's that mean? Oh, 12. So 24%. Thank you. So they were 10th most. So they were top 10 in 12 personnel. And at one point, they were higher. They actually went down. I think they were 17th or lower in the back half of the year. We did this when we did our 12 personnel show. And probably due to the loss of Blake Jarwin. So they'll probably get back to it. Jeremy says Mcewen is a great blocker. That's what he did in college and is turning to a good pass catcher. I really thought that his trajectory was going to be that of a Schultz. Blocker coming out, develop him into a pass catcher. Well, y'all really gonna be mad. Toxic said Cowboys Nation. Browns too high. Cut his bum ass. Probably. Wait till y'all see where I got him at. Mike Wage, they give the benefit to the rookie about the money and potential upside. They will, sure. I did a little bit too, but as you'll see when I get 35 to 31, I didn't have too many rookies ranked very highly. And it's not because I don't think they can be. We're just basing off of right now, June 30th. Danny said Hill's gone. We're not keeping 4-3 techs. Kind of how I feel. Tristan Hill's built like an eraser. Oh, y'all so wrong. There we go. First 7 weeks, they were 33% of the time, which ranked third most. So it was top 3. Third most in the league. So they're going to use it, these boys. They're going to use it. Adrian, let them save it. Let them save it for later because I cannot wait till we get to the part of the show or the series where there's some controversy. For y'all, it's going to be controversy. Not for me, but it's going to be controversy, so I'm excited for that. All right, are y'all ready for the back half? But before we get to the back half, got to talk about this week's ride of the week, y'all. And that is a 2022 Hyundai Tucson. Sports a daring new design that seems destined to shake up the compact SUV marketplace. All models are fairly well equipped, and the Tucson is among the most stylish options in the segment. It goes head-to-head with several strong rivals such as the Honda CR-V, Mazda CX-5, and Toyota RAV. But the new Tucson has brought its A game and earned an Editor's Choice Award for 2022. So make sure y'all check out the Freeman Hyundai ride of the week, which is the Hyundai 2022 Hyundai Tucson. Visit freemanhyundai.com or head on over to Freeman Hyundai in Irving, Texas.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. So, we got some Hill supporters. Craig says if Hill can stay healthy, he can be good for this team. Well, is he going to have a shot though, Craig? Right? Isn't that the question? Because let's just play the whole game of health game with everybody. If Osa stays healthy, if Golston stays healthy, if Watkins stays healthy, and if Neville stays healthy, and they play to their potential, where does he fit? Where does he fit in that rotation, that is he going to even dress if he's on this team? So if he's not going to dress, now you say, well, do I use a roster spot for a guy to be my 5th 3-tech? Or do I go ahead and keep this extra corner or extra safety or extra linebacker or extra tackle, which is very important on this team? So it's a fascinating conversation. Nah, I'm not, bro. I'm not. I got the Mazda 6, Gregory. Beautiful car. Professor O said, Noah Brown is the Freeman Hyundai Tucson of the Dallas Cowboys. Yo, wow, man. Call in, y'all. Call in if y'all want. 351-999-3787 is a call-in line. So, I think I felt pretty damn good about my 40-36. Here's where things might get a little funky, though. So, let's see. Let's let y'all judge it first. Here we go. 35 through 31. I'll just read the list off, then we'll start. 35 is Conor McGovern. 34, Carlos Watkins. 33, Sam Williams. 32, Jabril Cox. And 31, Kelvin Joseph. Now, if the tags are touching, I don't really trip too much about that, right? But some of these names you could argue. I was arguing with my damn self. I was like, well, how can I put Carlos Watkins that low and then Sam Williams above it, Carlos Watkins? But again, a lot of this sometimes I think about the potential. I think about the current talent. And I'm like, I just think Sam is more talented. But Los has been in the league, so I struggle with that. And then you got Kelvin Joseph at 31. What? You got Jabril Cox at 32. What? It sounds bad until you look at the rest of the roster and the rest of the rankings and try to talk yourself into putting some of these guys above those players. You know what I mean? So let me real quick get into the chat and see y'all initial reaction of this one right here. Yeah. Toxic said Kelvin Joseph Drake. Craig said, I disagree with Kelvin. Is he too high or too low? Don said, Iceberg said, Danny said, a lot misses. Yeah, that's the one. NME. That's why I said Sam Williams over the vets. Yeah, that's the one that I struggle with. But I just looked at it as, okay, I think, dude, the talent, the responsibility, I think he can be productive. How productive? That's to be seen. I just wouldn't rank KJ. Oh, that's interesting too, says Adrian. So kind of put him on the TBD list. Todd says Joseph needs to be higher. LeBron says Williams needs to be. That's why I love these lists, man, because it's subjective. Everybody has a different feeling. And I'm going to slow roll this thing. And I'll walk this back tomorrow when we do 30 to 21. That way you can see and maybe understand why I got these guys here. Jabril Cox has shown absolutely nothing, but he's needed at linebacker. See, I'm not tripping too much about it, though, because they're kind of touching. You could argue Carlos Watkins could be 31, right? That's where I could have been like, you know what, let me go ahead and just show respect to the vet. Anybody disagree with Conor McGovern being here? McGovern says kind of meh. Tino's feeling it. Okay. CJ says I agree with it. I thought I'd get a little bit more pushback on this because of guys like, not necessarily Kelvin, y'all, because Kelvin did play. You could argue Kelvin can go higher, to be honest. But Jabril Cox and Sam Williams being ranked over Carlos and Conor McGovern, they both were starters. So, right, I'm talking about two guys that are technically unproven over a guy like Carlos and Conor who are starters. Now, I think Conor's right, in my opinion, because he got benched. We saw him go in. He was, at best, in some games, okay, but consistently below average to me. Whereas Carlos Watkins was very consistent. In fact, I'm kind of talking myself into this. I probably should have put Los higher. My bad, Los. Mel says switch Carlos and Kelvin. That's kind of where I'm at. See, this is why I like to do this with y'all, because I talk myself into it through talking it out with y'all. So we're going to keep it here. This is what I have, June 30th. Maybe we'll revisit this in camp. In fact, let's do that. Let's revisit this in camp. Let's re-rank the roster because I'll be able to see these guys. Might be able to see them a lot more than you think, but I'll be able to see these guys. Hey, Hatch, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. He said, hold on, where's LVE? Relax, Hatch. It's about to get real in the next couple of days. Y'all ain't gonna like this one. Toxic said, can't have a guy who was involved with a murder that high. I'm sorry, he's been a huge disappointment thus far. That's fair with the Kelvin Joseph TBD. That's fair because he may not be on this roster. May not be on this roster. And to me, I'd switch Watkins and Jabril Cox for now, only because of Cox's injury and Watkins outperforming the camp body expectations. That's totally fair. So that's the one where I'm even pushing back on myself. I probably should have put Los higher. I think I did let my bias get a little bit to me in regards to Jabril Cox. I just think that Jabril Cox can be really good for this team. I'll ask the same question I asked with the other list. Who has the greatest chance to finish higher by season's end? You could argue most of this list. But give me your number one guy who has a chance of finishing higher on this list. And I'll pull up this part because, again, we kind of freestyling here, so I didn't have this one ready. That's my bad. Come on. There we go. I'm going to say Jabril Cox. Because I think he can be not necessarily I don't know if he'll be a starter. Maybe he should be a starter. But I don't know if he will be the starter due to LVE. And we know how much they like LVE. But I'm going to go with Jabril Cox. I think he can be much higher on this list. You could argue Sam Williams too. But I think he'll be much higher on this list. So that's my pick. Jabril and Sam. Miss Sheila said Sam. Danny says Kelvin. That's interesting because he may not even play for a little bit. If Kelvin has a good preseason, the commissioner will suspend him. I think Jabril has the biggest chance. Sam being productive is heavily dependent on whether or not Fowler underperforms. That's a good point, King. I think he can still be productive, but heavily productive. I'd flip that heavily word. I'd put it in front of heavily. I'd put heavily in front of productive. I think to be heavily productive, it would count on maybe Doris not playing well or getting injured, or Fowler not playing well or getting injured. But again, I don't think 4 or 5 sacks is out of the question for Sam Williams because what's going to be on his plate is not a lot. Go get the Q. Move him around, match him up, and go get the Q. All right, let's get to the horn, man. We got Reek in the building. What's good, Reek?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Sky Cowboy Nation? What's up?
What's up with
like,
you, man?
share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'm cool, man. My whole thing is like this, man. I hope that Kelvin Joseph gets a chance to show his skills. You know what I mean? I know that he might get suspended and all that, but the guy has talent. He showed us that last year. The end of last year, he has talent. He's a physical cornerback, and I think he can be a good cornerback. That we need a tough cornerback besides our finesse cornerbacks that we have on the team. You know what I mean? And that's the way I look at Diggs. Is more of a finesse type of cornerback, more than physical. And it's unfortunate what happened to the young man that lost his life, but at the same time too, if he gets his chance, I really want him to get his chance. But if he's not going to be on the team, he's not going to be on the team. But my thing is too, he's my number one guy that I want to see do good this year, besides Jabril Cox. But other than that,
we're just talking. Do you think it's vital or is extremely important for Kelvin Joseph to take that next leap for the Cowboys defense, or do you think the Cowboys defense will still be fine if he doesn't take that leap in year 2?
I think it'll be big for both sides, but at the same time too, I really believe he'll make our defense a lot better if we could see a little bit some of that physicalness that he brung, that attitude he brung on the field. I like Brown. I feel like Brown is a better slot corner than a number 2 corner to me. But he's played. You got to give him his props. You know, he has stepped his game up last year, so I give my hats off to that guy. But at the same time, too, we got to put young blood out there. You know what I mean? And I don't want to write off Nashawn Wright either. I don't want to write him off. I just think that it's time for the younger guy to step up.
What do we do with Nashawn Wright, bro? He's 6'4".
I like him on special teams, man.
Oh well,
I really do. I think he's real good on special teams too. Yeah. But at the same time, the type of person that Dan Quinn is, I think he can scheme him in some kind of way. I think he can scheme that height in some kind of way because he worked with Richard Sherman all those years. And I'm not trying to put Nashawn on his level.
What I mean is when I say 6'4", I should have followed up. I don't necessarily mean it's a problem that he's 6'4". I mean it's a problem in versatility. Meaning you can't slide him in to a slot. He's not that type of dude. So he only can be a boundary corner. So if he's only a boundary corner, who you benching? Are you benching Kelvin Joseph? You benching AJ Brown? AB, Anthony Brown, who's showed that he played well out there last year. So where you doing with Nashawn from a cornerback standpoint right now? I don't know what you do with him right now.
You know what I'm doing? I'm trading Jordan Lewis. That's what I'm doing.
But that don't affect.
Hey, if you
okay. Well, it still doesn't affect. That don't affect Nashawn. If you would have said I'm trading Anthony Brown, now we on to something, right? Because think about it. If you trade Anthony Brown, then you could be like, okay, then Nashawn's my starter on the boundary, and Kelvin is going to slide into the slot.
I got you.
You got me?
I got you. Yeah, I got you, man. But that's just my thing. I just don't think that we should. Dallas has a problem with getting rid of young people, young talent, and letting them go to other teams, and they go to other teams, and they start shining. And that's even on the wide receiver tip. Just like that guy from, what was that, Detroit? I forgot the guy that was on our practice squad. No, I think he's an undrafted dude. But then he went to either, was it Denver or was that, not Denver, I mean Detroit. I think it was a guy that left us and went to Detroit and became a pretty good.
Oh, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson went to Detroit, I believe. But I think you're talking about the cat that went to the Chiefs.
To the Chiefs?
Yeah, he became a starter.
I know
won the Super Bowl.
Or the Chargers.
Well, the Chargers got Jalen Guyton, the receiver. But if you're talking about defense and cornerback, I forget the cat's name, but he went to we traded him for an offensive lineman as a rookie, and he ended up being actually a pretty decent, solid starter. I think he picked the Cowboys off last year, matter of fact. I could be wrong, but I thought he did.
Yeah, man. Are you talking about where?
No. What's the dude's name?
Was he the cornerback?
Ward.
The cornerback, yes. Where?
Ward.
Yeah. He won the Super Bowl. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, man, I just don't like always. My thing is, this is where I'm gonna land my plane at. I don't like us getting players and then just throwing them to the heat pile, and not really seeing how good these guys really are before somebody else goes and poaches them off of our team for an older player. You know what I mean? That we've been holding on for so long to not let go. You know what I mean?
That's because I think fair. That if AB didn't perform well, I'm 100% all in on that. But I think AB played well enough to continue to have the ability to fight for his job and keep it. Like, somebody got to beat him now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So do you believe that he has a little bit more trade value this year? If he thought about trading him, they might could trade him?
I think they could trade him. It's just a matter. Yeah, I think they could trade him. It's just a matter of are you cool with, in a way, getting worse depth-wise for a 5th-round pick? That's the question. You can easily trade him. You know what I'm saying? You could trade Anthony Brown. Somebody will take him. Now, they ain't giving you no 2nd, 3rd-round pick probably. I think you'd be happy as hell to get a 4th. But I'm thinking like 5th-rounder because he's on an expiring contract. He's not some Pro Bowler. So if you're like a cornerback needy team, yeah, you'll give up a day 3 pick for him. But so it's up to you. If you feel comfortable saying, yeah, I'll take the 5th round pick just so that my young buck can get that opportunity, and I'll take the depth hit, then yeah, they could trade him.
Okay. Yeah, I just want the Cowboys to give some of these young undrafted players and some of our younger players a chance to see what they can really do, especially in the wide receiver room. Because Noah Brown, he's okay. He's okay. He's got better over the years. I'm giving him credit where it's due.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really believe like they really need to find out if any of these other players is better than him on this team, on that wide receiver, man. Because I don't like to just hold on like, oh, those are guys, and you know what I mean, just keeping holding on to players that won't take you to the next level or get you over that heat. I like that, man.
That will tell me a lot in how this regime is moving forward. If a guy beats out Noah Brown, who seems to stick around through multiple regimes, that to me tells me, okay, this isn't the same old, hey, this is my guy. I always say Jeff Heath, but it's maybe unfair to Jeff Heath, but you know how it is. It was like, hey, this is my dude. I'm not going out here looking for an upgrade. This is my guy. It feels kind of that way with Noah, like, hey, I'm cool with Noah. You know, this is my guy. But if somebody shows that they're better than Noah, there should be no excuse. It should be time to move on now. It's not like you're going to miss him. So I'm going to keep my eye on that.
Yeah, because Dallas has a bad case of this is my guy syndrome and letting other players go other places and flourish. You know what I'm saying?
I think they
They still got it.
I'd argue Dan Quinn. I don't know about on the offense side, but I argue Dan Quinn is ushering in a different phase in regards to that. Think about it. Kelvin Joseph was the 2nd round pick last year, bro. He ain't see the field because AB and Dan Quinn was like, I don't care that you're my guy. I drafted you. I wanted you. But Anthony Brown is outplaying you, so I'm keeping you on the field. So I think Dan Quinn is bringing in a little bit of different vibe. But offensively, I mean, it is the same staff. So
yeah, I got you. All right, Sky Cowboy Nation, man. Y'all better hit that like button. Sky, the best in the business, one of the best in the business, y'all.
Salute, bro. I appreciate you, Reek. Good talk, bro.
All right, peace.
Yeah, good stuff there from Reek, man. Good conversation. The questions that I might ask y'all is because I'm asking myself as well, and I want to talk it out. So, you know, the trade situation, AB, I saw a lot of people in the chat say, no, don't trade AB. Hell, Toxic wants to extend him. I don't know. Slow down. I don't go that far. I think the cornerback room is in honestly a really good place. I pulled a list up for y'all one more time in regards to the full 40 through 31. And then I'll get back to that cornerback conversation. I do want to talk about that. 40 is Simi Fehoko. 39, Tristan Hill. 38, Sean Mcewen. For those who are listening audio-wise, probably, why are you reading it back here? Some people listen audio. 37, Deshaun Wright. 36, Noah Brown. I felt the most confident of the entire top 40, maybe except the top 10, of this part of the list, 40 to 36. I don't think there's any controversy there. 35, Conor Mcgovern. 34, Carlos Watkins. 33, Sam Williams. 32, Jabril Cox. And 31, Kelvin Joseph. There's a little bit of controversy there, and I think you guys talked me off the ledge with this one. Carlos Watkins should be higher in this segment, so I probably would have put him at 31, honestly. But still, not too crazy. You know, I feel like 40 to 31 is fair. I feel like it's fair. Uncut Coke was good, man. You missed the good first 2 segments, but it is what it is. I'm running this back for y'all. Here's my top 40 as we speak for the roster. Now back to the cornerback conversation that I wanted to have with y'all. I think the cornerback room is in really good shape, barring suspension from Kelvin, right? And I know I'm kind of ignoring his off-field stuff. I'm kind of ignoring, does he want to be great? Does he really love the game? I don't know. It doesn't. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It don't seem like it. You don't necessarily have to love the game and want to be great, though, to be good. So he just got to show me that he can be good regardless of wanting to be one of the best there is out there. But if Kelvin isn't suspended for a long season, if he's only for 3, 4, 5 games, the cornerback room's in good shape long term because Jordan Lewis has another year. I like Jordan Lewis as a depth guy. If he's my cornerback 3, that's fine. I don't think his ceiling is any higher than that anymore. He's going into year 6. He is what he is, but that's fine. Anthony Brown, another good depth guy. Now, I would like to upgrade at cornerback too, but he showed that he can at least handle it in a respectable way last year. He is, however, on a expiring contract. That's where the Kelvin Joseph situation comes in. If Kelvin Joseph can show, it wasn't like he was bad when he did play last year. Let's just get that out the way. But if Kelvin Joseph can show that he is taking the game more serious and he does mature off the field, which will trickle down to on the field, then you're in good shape in the cornerback room. And then Nashawn Wright just continues to be that special teams guy, and we'll see if he gets a chance when it goes down. The wild card could be a Deron Bland. I still find it hard for him making the team, though. But he is a wild card. What's up, Jack? AB in the slot is the move. Ready Red says, I liked AB in the slot. I think he's quicker than J. Lou. Ooh. I would have to go back on and watch a few games, and this tedious work there, but I feel like AB is quicker, which he is technically. But Jordan Lewis, is he more savvy? I've seen AB get beat like this too, but where I've seen Jordan Lewis kind of get beat throughout his career in that slot was mostly on the drags, and that's one of the hardest routes to cover because it's so much field that you have, right? And it's just speed on speed at that point, and he's not the fastest. So I like J. Lou. I like J. Lou in zone a lot better than I do in man, especially if you're just talking about a route downfield. AB, believe it or not, I think he's a solid man corner. Now his ball skills might not be better than J. Lou's. I don't think that's the case, but there's a very much leveling out when it comes to these two. One is better at this part of the game. The other is better at that part of the game. I don't think either is significantly better than the other. Yeah, I do think he's quick. D Block says J. Lou got the slot on lock, Sky. I think, you know what's funny, D Block in chat? It was a point in time I wanted to see J. Lou get some reps on the outside. There was a point in time I wanted to see that. Yeah. Now though, I think he's found a home in the slot. In fact, he feels disrespected among the league leaders in the slot, and he kind of made that felt. He deleted the tweet, but he made that felt on Twitter. He felt a little bit disrespected. Hey, there goes NME. He says, I feel like J. Lou operates better on the boundary. It was a point in time I wanted to see that, but I feel like he found a home in the slot, and let's just kind of just be good there. Yeah, yeah, I know what you Ready Red, but who's really covering D Jack on that drag though? That's why I felt a little bad getting on J. Lou about the drags, but it wasn't just the D Jack one. But boy, he got smoked on that. I've seen him get beat on those drags a lot because he doesn't have that speed. AB fast. He a 4.35 guy. Let's get another caller in here before we wrap up. 202. What it do?
Hey, how you doing? I'm a long-time Cowboy fan. I don't think nobody more a Cowboy fan than me. My name is Juan. I'm from D.C. I used to call the other little break, Cowboy break. I used to call them say Juan from D.C. But there are a few things that I've noticed about Cowboy. My biggest take, since you're talking about AB, yeah. I think he, like you said, he got that speed. But you notice he never turned his head around and try to locate the ball.
Yeah, his ball skills.
That's his biggest problem.
Yeah.
And that's his biggest problem because that's the difference between him and Trayvon Diggs. Diggs, no matter how much he keeps the corner of the receiver in front of him, so he can always kind of like look back and see the quarterback. So his ball comes, he can adjust to the ball. That's what Browns and AB don't do. Okay, but really, the one thing I really want to talk about, Ezekiel Elliott. Man, I love Ezekiel Elliott, but ever since him and Cam Chancellor had that collision, Zeke braced for the hit. He no longer. If you notice, the first man that hit him almost take him down because he don't run hard no more like he used to. Because me playing football, I had that collision. I separate my shoulder, but only thing, I ain't mind the pain. And you watch over history, Nigeria Nightmare, Eddie George, all of them that ran into Steve Atwater, I can't call his name from Baltimore right now, Ray Lewis, and the rest of them, once they hit that, they run into that person who met them, they kind of like shy away from taking that hit no more. Now, I saw Zeke do it before against Atlanta when he went for that touchdown and he ran dude over, dude laid out. I said, well, he still got it. So it's just a matter of him running hard, not being scared.
So, oh man, that's a mouthful. So you believe that Zeke is shying away and use the word scared
yes.
of contact?
I can tell you how. Let me tell you, I'm that hard for real.
Okay.
I can tell you stories over stories on about my Cowboys. I love them that much. Okay. But let me tell you what I'm gonna tell you what you take notice. Notice before Zeke and Cam Chancellor met in that game, Zeke used to go down and he used to put that shoulder helmet type on you. Now notice he kind of turn his hip, bracing for the hit.
Okay.
If you go through film, take a look at it. It'll tell you a whole lot. That's why DeMarco Murray I never cared for when he came to us. He ran out of bounds or took the easy way out. Or fell down just to avoid a hit.
Here's what I will agree with, that hits do take a toll on your body over time. And I think, and this is something that I've tried to get Cowboys Nation to admit to, that Zeke is not the same guy as he was when he came in, but that's okay. Like he's not the same. He's a different runner, but I still think he could be an efficient and quality runner. However, I don't agree. I don't agree that he's scared.
No, you're not scared. Understand. He's not scared, but he's trying to change his way from taking that initial hit like he did with Cam Chancellor. Because he can still, but
he has to, right? Doesn't he have to as you get older? I mean, shoot, didn't we love Emmitt Smith for that?
But remember, Emmitt Smith, he ain't care. He was a diehard football fan, lover, don't care about nothing. When his shoulder was hurting, the Zeke the Emmitt shy away from any hit or anything.
No.
When the game just died with
a busted shoulder. Correct. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is that as you get older, you have to be able to become a little bit smarter as a runner, because that is the worst position in regards to taking a beating. So you can't just run it over Cam Chancellor every game, or you won't be available.
No, but see, remember, Cam Chancellor ain't in every game.
Sure. I mean, I'm just saying a player, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a linebacker.
Okay. All right. Now we talking. Now let me put it this way. If you watch Zeke trying to do like Le'Veon Bell, kind of like hesitate, jump through holes, right? And then find his the opening and run. First thing, one thing I don't think Zeke have is vision, because if you look at a lot of those runners last year, I was like, go to the left, because he's wide open. If instead of going up that hole, if he break back, if you got the vision, you can see the whole field. He keep his head almost, he need to put his head on a swivel. No matter where he running, moving those feet, going toward the hole. To me, he don't even set up his block. Even Skip Bayless done sit there and said, he done had holes where he should have took and he didn't take, which I agree with him, which is the same holes I was talking about.
Hold up, OG. Did you say Skip Bayless? Did you say Skip Bayless?
Yes, I said Skip Bayless. Go back and tape and let Skip tape. It was one of those games. He said Zeke went this way, Zeke went to the house. But Zeke can't see it. Zeke don't see these holes. And there's a time where Zeke should have went to the left, and I was like, just go left. And he'll tell. And one thing I do know about Cowboys, when Cowboys start inside, they go wide or run outside, we've had more success.
Oh yeah. I'm all about running to the outside. There's no doubt about it. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes. I see a lot of success when we run to the outside also. Instead of straight up the hole. But Zeke can start up the hole, and he need to learn to set his blockers up. Because that's what when Le'Veon get in those holes, and he has success in there, because he set his blockers up. He runs like he's going to the hole, but he's not going to the hole. He act like he's going to the left or to the right. No blocker overplay or don't go and hesitate. That's what open that hole. Give his blockers time to make the hole open for him.
All right, OG. Listen, brother, I appreciate you. I appreciate your insight. Was it Juan from DMV?
Yes.
I appreciate your insight, Juan from DMV.
It's not Ron, it's Juan.
Yeah, Juan.
Okay.
Yeah, Juan.
Okay, yeah.
I got you, Juan.
Yes.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Uh-huh.
I didn't like. I feel his concerns with Zeke or what have you. Not all of them, but I literally had I couldn't. I was speechless when he said Skip Bayless. Like, OG. And I don't know if you knew on this show, but we not finna reference Skip. Anything Skip got to say about the Dallas Cowboys, just know there's an agenda to it. No, it's fake. So I'm not telling you how to watch, how to get your information on the Cowboys or anything like that. But that's not the way to go. And I know a lot of older fans that's where they do go for their entertainment for sports and Cowboys and whatnot. But if you're new here, shout out to you, Juan, by the way. I urge you to tune in to us more often, brother. We're going to give you the real facts about these situations and not these agenda-driven things that they do over there. And I'm not, listen, get your money, Skip, but that ain't my cup of tea. So if you're going to use guys like Skip and Stephen A when we debating, you got it. There's nothing else I can't really go on, man, because I'm just going to leave it at that. We got a couple more callers, man. Let me go ahead and lock this up here. But shout out to you, Juan. Juan from the DMV. Appreciate you, man. Let's get into Danny Savage. What's up, Danny?
Good morning, Sky. I had to spit out my coffee when I heard the prior caller mention Skip. First of all, F that guy. No, not the caller, but F Skip. When he made fun of Dak Martin's mental issues, I mean, Dak Prescott, I apologize, within a problem when Dak's brother passed away, F Skip Bayless. The only uniform Skip Bayless ever put on was when his mommy got him ready for school in the 3rd grade.
Bro.
So forget it.
Do you remember the Skip Bayless? And there we go. I hate to even use his name on the show, but you remember when him and Jalen Rose got into it, and Jalen Rose called him out about averaging like 1 point per game as a senior? For whatever reason, that popped up on my YouTube. Yeah. That popped up on,
I agree with you.
Listen. It popped up on my YouTube, right? And I said, let me listen to this real quick. The show after that day. Man, Skip was crying. He wasn't really crying, but he was whining and giving excuses to why he wasn't. He got cut in the senior year and he quit and all this. I'm like, bruh, if you were so good, Skip, none of that would have mattered. But I digress. Go on. It's comical to watch.
Yeah, I just lost it, man. I can't stand that guy. I think what the prior caller was trying to say about Zeke is, and last night I was bored. I was watching a little 2016 Zeke. Listen, and I'm not putting Zeke down. Every running back, from the second he starts in Pee Wee, through high schools, through college, through the pros, has a certain amount of carries in them. And that's it. And it's not putting him down. It's just fair to say Zeke, when he came out, was a big power back. Is that a fair assumption? Or no?
I would say he was more dual. I think he had power. I think he can run around you, he can run over you, and he was explosive. I don't view him in that way anymore.
Okay, but was he a one cut and take off and beat everybody with speed? No. Look what happened to when Eddie George hit the wall, Jamal Lewis. All I'm trying to say is when you have these big, powerful guys, they hit that wall.
Danny, you're correct.
And
Juan is correct about that part.
And the old line is not the same. They tend to fall off the face of the earth. Listen, next year, running backs probably going to be in the first 2 to 3, either the first, second, or third round. We're picking a running back next year because we're not paying Pollard. And like I said, we've had this conversation before, whether Zeke is injured or not. Stefan's mindset is we're paying him, we're going to run him. It's sad, but it's the truth. Because we've had this conversation before. It doesn't make sense.
Well, we're talking about the politics. Yeah, I don't agree with the politics. But what I appreciate Juan doing is not getting into the politics part of the Zeke conversation. Because it's funny because y'all know how I feel about Zeke and Tony Pollard. I don't think it should be just primarily Zeke anymore. I think TP should be eating into his carries big time. I think it should be split. So I don't disagree with everything that Juan said. You and him are correct about backs like him now. The more and more hits they take, the less impactful they're delivering those blows, which I think Zeke understands, which is why you see him working on his jump cuts and why you see him being a smarter runner. So I think he just runs differently. I wouldn't call it scared though, but I just think he runs different.
I definitely wouldn't call it scared. It's just when you lose that power and you don't have the old line you did in 2016, a lot of bad things can happen. You know what I'm trying to say? That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And with the numbers you're putting up, I agree with you. I just think that this team has to stay healthy. Because this team right now, because in my opinion, I think our secondary, the corners, and our safeties, that's probably our deepest position on the whole team. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me.
Say those positions again?
I think our secondary, our defensive backs, and our safeties is probably the deepest position on our team.
Secondary, DBs and safeties. I would say just DBs in general, like the corners and safeties.
Yes. Us all guys, we say the secondary, guys in the backfield. Yeah. I just say I think that's our deepest. Because when we get 1 or 2 injuries, it's going to be a long year. But like I said, I spit out my coffee when I heard that guy skipped. Let's not even talk about that dude. That guy gets nothing. He's the gimp. He's the gimp from the movie Pulp Fiction. That's what they do with Skip after,
go get my
after the
gabagool.
game. Get in your cage. Great call, as always. Listen to Sky and Voch later on, 306 crowd. Like I said, I just had to get that off my chest when I heard that guy's name. I
appreciate you, Danny, bro. Thank you, man.
You got it, Sky. But
I could tell NME, you ain't been here in a while, bro. NME Michael been rocking for a long time, but I could tell you ain't been here in the live stream because he's like, yo, I just want to hear him say, I took care of that thing for you over the phone. He said he sound like he make a mean spaghetti. That's our guy, man. That's our guy, Danny, the guru. We had a fun conversation with Danny yesterday on Voss and Barty Live yesterday. I got to make sure y'all check that out. Run that back. Coffee. There's a guy on TikTok. He's literally famous because of his accent. Kind of sounds like Danny. Where his son asked him to say things, and one of them is coffee. It's coffee. It's not coffee. It's coffee. Love him. And the reason why I could do this because I am Italian. Okay, so when I'm not making fun of Danny. I'm not. I got Italian in my blood. The whole side family's Italian. That's all I can tell y'all. We got 661, and we're going to end the call session. What's up, 661?
What's up, man?
What's good with you?
All right, well, I just wanted to agree. I agree with you a lot about the Anthony Brown thing. You said that he had trouble with his ball skills. What did you mean by that? You mean like tracking the ball? Because that's what I feel like he was struggling on. Yeah,
I said that I don't think his ball skills are better than Jay Lue's. So while he may be a sticky man corner, at least last year, the statistic in film supported that. I don't think he's a guy like a Trayvon Diggs or Xavier Howard or J.C. Jackson where their ball skills are supreme, right? They can stick with their man and be in phase and still get their head around or still make a play on the ball for either interception or pass breakup. I don't think they're poor.
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't think that they're all that great.
Yeah, no, I agree. His man wasn't bad really last season. He was always on his man, but it was just the problem of finishing and being able to find that ball and either swat it down or make a play on it.
Yeah. AB after the first week and a half, I thought he was solid. I'm not putting that Raiders game. I feel like the Raiders game was some BS, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about that Tony Pollard and Zeke. You kind of mentioned a little bit.
Sure.
On the last call. I feel like they complement each other very well. I feel like, like you said,
Perfect.
they need to get a good amount of reps each.
Yeah. Period. I'm sorry.
That's
Somebody
it.
in the chat.
That's it.
No, man. If you get a chance, I don't know exactly the show. Maybe it was a running back. I did a State of the Unit running back show. I've been saying this for years. What's your name, bro? Dustin, I've been saying this since 2019 that I thought TP should have been incorporated more because they're a perfect complement to each other. So at this point I'm exhausted about it, but I still try to make sure I get that out there and hopefully it happens. But yeah, you can find pretty much on every other show I talk about how I think Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott are better than Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott.
Yep, I agree, man. I agree.
All right, man.
Yeah.
That's all you got for the show?
Yeah, that's it pretty much. Yeah, that was it.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate the call. Good stuff.
Appreciate you, man.
Yep.
Later.
Y'all funny. Somebody says Sky identifies as Italian. Listen, I don't hide my Italian side at all, man. Freaking let us side. I just wish, to be honest, I was able to know my great grandparents because they couldn't even speak English on that side. So they was super Italian. Like they came straight from Sicily, literally to New York. So yeah, I love that side. I want to learn more. I want to go to Sicily. My uncle's been there. I haven't been there. I want to do all that. But my grandma, she Italian, but she Italian American. Super Italian American. Sky, you as Italian as Italian ice. Facts. That's true though, man. I don't even really identify as Italian American. I'm black, but I acknowledge my Italian side because there's a lot of history there. And I want to tell. Maybe I'll meet y'all in person, but there's some stories, man. My grandma told me some stories. There's stuff about my great grandfather. Man, I'm not gonna say no more, but just know. It's just know. That's all. Real quick before we end the show. Oh man, you ever see the movie The Accountant? Toxic Time. That's a good movie, man. Our guy Craig over on Facebook. Craig believes that, and make sure I get this right, Tony Pollard is not a running back. Tony Pollard is a wide receiver. They call me Skywalker, capiche? Boy, I wish I'd have known them. I wanted to pull this up. Where you at? Here we go. Make sure I got this in. Okay. Tony Pollard is not a running back according to Craig. I think we got to. Where's the music at? Let me get the music back popping on this because I'm just going to use the words I disagree. Just because TP can catch the rock don't mean he can't tote it. Like, why do we continue to think my man is some scat back Lance Dunbar type dude? He's 6 foot, 210 plus, got some wiggle. He ain't scared of contact. Like, he ain't gonna be Zeke, but bro he runs so hard that if you see the first, look at that. Oh boy, tell you something about that. The first highlight in here, my guy trucked the mess out of a cornerback and made him dizzy. So I disagree that he's not a running back just because he can catch the rock. I think that's maybe the problem with the staff. Maybe they might agree with you. Maybe they view him as not a running back, and that's why they ain't getting the rock 200 carries or whatever. But he did have a career year last year, so I don't want to knock that. He got the ball more. I just think now this thing should be a full-fledged duo attack. We cannot dismiss the immense attributes that he brings to this offense. You're hindering yourself more than you be helping him. Craig, I do too. He says, I want them both on the field at the same time. We didn't run enough 20 personnel. We didn't run enough. Every show I attend now will start with Good Morning Skywalk. All right, man. Listen, we about to end this thing. I got to get going. Spaghetti is one of my favorite meals, but King Element, the American version of spaghetti, real Italians, they'll spit on that. They don't like that. That's not true spaghetti. Also, the pizza we make. I messed around, and when I was younger, we in the weeds. We could talk. We family. I went to an actual Italian pizzeria. I'll tell y'all the story. Forget it. So I went to an actual Italian pizzeria, got a pizza with my lady at the time. We went back and sat down and we started eating the pizza. We like, what is this? Mind you, I'm not from it. I never had no real Italian pizza. I was like, oh nah, this ain't pizza. This ain't Pizza Hut. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? Papa John's. I don't even know Papa John's. But so I went back to do. Excuse me, man. This pizza is it's not cooked right. And thick Italian accent. No. This is pizza. This is real pizza. And I'm like, whoa, getting a bit too hostile. I just would like another pizza. My man took the pizza, threw it down on the counter, and the sauce splashed all over the people. And that's where I'll end the story. We're going to talk about what happened next. But yeah, man, it's certain food that we make in America that is considered Italian dishes. And I know where spaghetti's not, but pasta is. The real Italians, forget about it. They don't like that. They don't like that. They can Big Flock 91, but the I think the pizza is just way different. The sauce is different. The texture, it's a bit harder. It's not, ain't putting nothing in the crust. I'm talking about a little bit thinner too. They don't do all that extra cheese stuff. So it's just a bit different. And here come Vach. Spaghetti is definitely a side. Not Italian spaghetti. American spaghetti. After watching what Vach posted about that, he had some fish in the spaghetti. Man, that plate looks so good. I could get behind that. Italian pasta, spaghetti, whatever you want to call it. Nah, fam. They will make that as an entire dish. Tell me I'm wrong, Danny. But man, that dish that Vach showed on the show looks so good. I'll get a couple more before we get out of here. I'm not even going to attempt to say it in that voice, King, but that's funny. Yeah, my man got mad. Real mad. It was an older gentleman, too. I want to tell y'all the rest. I'm going to tell Vosh the rest later, but it got crazy after that. I had a bad attitude at that time. I'm much more patient now. Unless we arguing about Dak Prescott. Vosh, you put onions on your hot dog yet? Big Sarge wants to know. I'm right, Craig? All right, that's what I thought. Oh, Vach put me on a peanut butter cornbread. I ain't make it yet, but this weekend I might. He gave me the little recipe. It ain't like it's a bunch of extra stuff, but he gave me the details. So I'm going to try that out this weekend. Hey, King, I see that we about to end the show. King is wilding. I want to say that so bad because it's funny. All right, y'all. This was some good stuff today, man. Let me show y'all the list one more time, man. This is we're doing the top 40 Dallas Cowboys of 2022, 40 to 31. I think a pretty fair list. My only reservation right here is the Carlos Watkins. That's the only one I got a problem with. Other than that, I feel good about it. But I will tell you this. We going to have some problems moving forward, which I know y'all not going to like where I got some of these guys, and I love it. And I'm not doing this to be a contrarian. I'm just trying to be fair, but I know some of these players that we're going to show tomorrow, Monday, unless some news break out. Y'all ain't going to like. Foch said raw onions are for serial killers. You know, I didn't really start liking onions like that on my like on my food till I got older. It's a lot of things like that. I like different candies now. I don't even eat candy as much. I say chocolates. I like different chocolates now, different foods as you get older. There's still certain foods or candies or chocolates that I look sideways at, like that's an old folk candy. But as I get older, I'm like, man, I was missing out. Another conversation for another day. I would never go that route, NME. Never, man, never. Hey, y'all, do me a favor before y'all dip out of here. Today's show was mad fun. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. For those that cannot comment, if you just jumped in here, you're like, why can't I comment? That's because you got to be a subscriber for at least 20 minutes. So subscribe if you enjoy the content, right? And check out the rest of the channel. If you're not ready to subscribe, if you like other videos and you say, okay, I can dig what I'm seeing, hit that sub button, share it with your friends and your family. That helps out a whole lot, man. Helps out as we continue not to only grow A to Z brand, but Sky's brand. Because at the end of the day, it's still your boy. And we trying to grow the brand. So with that said, hit up Mauricio later today. This is the final show of the week. A to Z Sports Prime Time, and visit A2ZSportsDallas.com for all the wonderful articles. Shout out to Mo for the article feature today, where he talked about the Athletics questioning the DEW. Did a button go? Forget about it. Some good Italian conversation today. Y'all gonna make me go back into the history books, talk to some of my family, come back with some more cool stuff. I want to tell y'all some stories, man. I got some stories. We gonna chill. All right, I'll get with y'all tomorrow. It's Friday. Tomorrow. Love y'all. Peace. Forget about it.
Squad!